Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of East Longmeadow Spartans Boys Varsity Soccer here at East Longmeadow High School at the Turf. We are underway as the Spartans play host to the Chicopee Pacers. Pacers opening up their season tonight, whereas East Longmeadow is 0-2, coming off of a couple of 1-0 losses on the season. Colin Casey alongside Devin Dobeck bringing you action live from East Longmeadow on LCAT. As you can see, things are underway. On the far side, the Spartans looking to try to strike first and pick up their first goal of the season, and got an offsides called against East Longmeadow. Free kick coming up for Chicopee. Temperatures starting to drop below 60. When I got here, it seemed like it felt a lot warmer than it is now, Devin, but focusing on the game here, the Spartans coming into this game 0-2, but they face a team that has yet to play a game on the season. Who do you think has the edge coming in terms of who do you like coming away with a victory as we got a stoppage in play?
Well, Friday Night Lights, Spartans coming off a few tough 1-0 losses, as you said. Longmeadow, definitely a hotly contested game with them that they had. So I think the Spartans have a chip on their shoulder, having a little more coming into this game to fall back on. But, yeah, it should be a good one.
About a minute and 15 in, and nothing really doing for either team. Spartans will have a goal kick deep in their own end, and they'll play it back. That is Chicopee. Swung all the way to the far side. Pass sent forward and miscommunications. That one goes out of bounds. It'll be put back in by the Pacers.
Yeah, Walczak has looked solid all season for the Spartans in net, only allowing one goal in each of the two contests prior, so hopefully he can keep that to one or less and maybe spark the Spartans to a win.
And looking at Chicopee, one to watch out for is Jacob Kaiser, who was second on the team last year in goals for the Pacers with 9. Even had a hat trick back on October 3rd of last year against Munson, an 11-1 crushing victory by the Pacers. Another guy to watch out for, though, would be Nathan Roberts with 8 goals and an assist, and he had a pair of goals on September 11th last year against the Spartans. So someone who has had a lot of experience against his team coming into his senior year and opening up his season with the Pacers.
Yeah, number 3 right there, Sonny Mazza has looked excellent for the Spartans, applying a lot of pressure. Hasn't been able to find the back of the net, but definitely providing a lot of scoring chances.
Spartans using their D-men. The pass doesn't get through from Ryan Morneau. Knocked down by Jack Sweeney. Sweeney back to Morneau. And the Spartans will switch fields. Now they'll play it all the way back to Walczak. Sweeney down the near side. And that's going to be out of play as looked like Stevens lost track of where he was on the field. Gorzak puts it in for Chicopee and then quickly right back out. Sweeney has his pass picked off. Morneau to the middle and sent forward by Brunel. Neither team really establishing a strong attack so far. We haven't seen a single scoring chance for either team so far. Brunel knocks it down. And it's Morneau. And Spartans will retreat with the ball. And Walczak will just send this one all the way out to midfield on the far side. But a good tackle there from the Pacers. They look to get something going. There's a good pass towards the middle. A weak shot on net and easily fielded by Walczak. Just over 4 minutes in. A couple of shots on goal for Chicopee registered, but nothing really quality.
Can't head ball.
That's right, yep. So a habit that I'm sure a lot of teams are getting used to. The Spartans, though, that's one of the advantages of the Spartans being in their 3rd game. They know a little bit more about these adjusted rules due to the coronavirus pandemic, whereas Chicopee still getting used to it in their 1st game on the year.
Colin, I don't know if you did a boys game at this year, but I know I did, and let me tell you, there was a lot of contact penalties. You're not allowed to touch the other team, and definitely in boys soccer more often than girls soccer.
Look out here. We got a breakaway, a shot on net, an aggressive save by Walczak. He came all the way out to Rob. That was Kaiser, the guy we were talking about here with 9 goals last year, but an aggressive play by Walczak prevents him from striking first.
Yeah, great play by Walczak there. But getting back to the point, I actually forget where I was going with that. What was I saying?
Yeah, so I haven't done any
right.
men's games yet,
So, yeah.
but I've done women's games, and so far the girls have they've adjusted pretty well. There have been a number of stoppages in that game against Longmeadow where the Spartans had a convincing 4-0 victory, and they actually just played Chicopee, ended up being Chicopee 5-0, back-to-back 2-goal games from Haley Brown, who's been on fire since that second game of the season. So 4 goals in 2 games for her. But, yeah, it's going to be an adjustment for all these teams in Western Mass.
It's almost a different sport, if you will. It's definitely a lot different. There's a lot less you can get away with, and
there's a through ball. Mazza's shot on net. He scores! Sonny Mazza breaks through the defense, and there's the Spartans' first goal of the season. They take an early 1-0 lead against the Pacers.
There we go. Sonny Mazza setting up a great play. I'm not sure if there's going to be an assist on that, but he was able to break through the defense and find the back of the net for the Spartans' first goal. Definitely was my player to watch out for coming in.
And there were some striking similarities between that goal and the goal that Haley Brown scored back earlier in the week on Monday against Longmeadow. That first goal that Brown had scored was a through ball by
number 6, Colin Evans.
I think it was
on the
Emma
assist.
Catanzariti, which was a
goal.
phenomenal pass, and once again, a great pass forward for Mazza, and he has East Longmeadow out 1-0 early.
Yeah, definitely get that monkey off your back, get the first goal of your season. It's going to be good for East Longmeadow. Maybe they can settle into a rhythm and throw a few more goals together throughout the next few games.
Now the question is, can the Pacers respond coming out here on the road on their first game of the season and falling behind? Spartans have only played close games so far this year with 2 1-0 losses. They're looking to try to get a big lead early, and this is certainly a step in the right direction. On the far side of the field, Pacers trying to establish some form of attack, but hasn't really been effective at all so far.
Well, they had that one great chance, but Walczak came up big for the Spartans, playing out of his net, and was able to cut off the angle and avoid what could have been an early and maybe devastating goal. You know, you got to keep your head, especially in the sport of soccer, because there's so few goals scored, especially in even matchups. So that big one could have put them on the wrong side of the hill.
Got a number of whistles in the last 30 seconds or so. But after all that, it'll be Spartans' ball. And it'll be put back in play by Brunel. But a strong pressure by Chicopee, and just like that, they give the ball right back to East Longmeadow. You notice the netminder for Chicopee, Berube, has been wandering pretty far out of his net. Not afraid to be aggressive, but here comes another through ball to Mazza. Mazza trying to get inside positioning. He does. Mazza streaking in, but a whistle blows. And it looks like...
Yeah, I was about to say, that was a lot of contact there in the last game against the Lancers. That definitely wouldn't have flown, but I think the refs caught on and were able to make the call.
So the penalty is going to be on Chicopee. And you hear the shouting from the sidelines, an indirect kick. So they're going to probably put it in towards Mazza, who's waiting there for it. Spartans sending a lot of players forward. Patrick Stevens waiting to put the ball in. And he'll probably just drop this thing back to Mazza so he can fire one on net. And he does. Mazza's shot pulled it a little bit, but it comes back towards the Spartans. Played forward by Jack Sweeney. An open shot and another goal. Wow, that happened quick. All of a sudden, wide open was Ryan Morneau. And 8.5 minutes in, the Spartans come out to a 2-0 lead at home.
Yeah, Ryan Morneau, not the biggest guy in size, but he has been an unbelievable playmaker for East Longmeadow all year with great setup passes, and finally he's rewarded with a goal.
It all started with Jack Sweeney keeping that ball in after a clearing attempt by Chicopee. So the defender turning defense into offense deep in Pacer territory, and now just like that, it's 2-0, and the Pacers are reeling. A little bit of a scoreboard error. It says 12-0 instead of 2.
Goal by number 22, Ryan Morneau. Number 12, Ryan Brunell on the assist.
So you hear that, Ryan Brunell picking up the assist, but a big secondary assist that obviously doesn't count statistically going to Sweeney for keeping that ball in. Speaking of Sweeney, he'll play it to the near sideline. Stevens comes back to Brunell. Brunell's aerial pass, though, is knocked down by the Pacers. Spartans persistent on their attack on midfield, and look at the speed down the far side. Here comes another opportunity for East Longmeadow. That shot is knocked down by Berube. He came charging out, but it's picked up and kept alive by Luke Mazza. Mazza. And that ball's just quickly cleared out by Chicopee, and I think they're just trying to catch their breath right now.
Yeah, that was some serious speed we just saw from Mazza down the right sideline. Holy cow.
So it's put back in by the Spartans. And here comes a cross, charging and looking to try to knock that down. It's tough without being able to use your head, but Morneau is looking at trying to settle it, but he couldn't. And Spartans continue to apply the pressure. There's a huge shot on net backing up, and Berube has to take evasive action. I think that ball might have ended up going wide, but another shot on net for the Spartans, and we're just halfway into the first quarter.
Yeah, the Spartans, I think they had 3 or 4 shots on net all game against the Lancers, and matching that here, like you said, not even 1/8 of the way into this game.
Now East Longmeadow looking to go to their bench, keep some fresh legs out there. Here comes some substitutions for both teams as Anthony Guimaras is going to check in. And he's joined by several others, including Amon Carrana, excuse me.
Or no, I believe that's Ben Biggins.
Ben Biggins as well. Yep, correct. I read that wrong. I was looking at 23, not 24.
As well as Dante Bates and Ben Weldon.
Berube just being patient. He throws it past Mazza. Maybe taking a little anger out on that toss. So both teams not making their substitutions just yet. Now they come in. And as far as Chicopee goes, they'll make 2 subs. As checking in for the Pacers is Anasiri. I think Anasiri started the game, but came out rather quickly, so just getting a quick breather, and he's back out on the field. It's important for Chicopee to try to get fresh legs cycled in there, Devin, because, reminder, this is their first game, and it certainly shown that their first game with a couple of defensive lapses, but also stamina-wise, they got to try to stay on top of that in this first matchup.
Yeah, and also with the colder weather, I mean, not a lot of people think of it, but definitely a little tougher to breathe. I mean, you think at the NFL postseason games, they have oxygen masks because it's so cold up at stadiums like Mile High and all that, you know, cold weather makes it a little tougher to catch your breath sometimes, and we might see a few more frequent subs than we usually would.
We've got a long pause before this one's put in by Chicopee. It finally is. The referee saying that he was waiting for something. And now we got a number of conversations taking place. And finally, after all that, it's sent down the field, and that's played with the head. And again, that adjustment, that's Kaiser.
It's got to be pretty frustrating for these players playing this game their whole life one way and then being told they can't. Can't imagine what's going through their heads. It's probably just instinct at this point. They're just doing things subconsciously. And
there's a bad turnover, but aggressive play by Waltzak to clear it out. He's really showed his soccer IQ throughout this game so far. Great judgment to come out and make that play instead of letting the offense come to him. So it'll be Spartans ball. Morneau, who, instead actually that'll be Stevens who will put it in. Now the ball goes past Morneau. Pass forward and sent to the far side by Dante Bates. Mazza can't have anything going. There's a long shot, but that one will slice harmlessly out of play, and more substitutions coming for East Longmeadow.
Definitely an ill-advised shot there. Little far to be taking that one, but probably just want to take a smack at it early on.
And Berube sends it down. Knocked down by Biggins, but they're going to say that Biggins took Kaiser's leg out from underneath him. Under 6 minutes to play in this first quarter. If you're just joining us, the Spartans coming out to a roaring start. Pair of goals from Sonny Mazza with the first one, and then Ryan Morneau not too long after that.
Yeah, they've looked good. They've controlled most of this game. Great passing we've seen, and hopefully they can hang on and tack on a couple more.
Biggins, good positioning to knock that one down. Ball's played forward, and another whistle. Will be on East Long Meadow. And you look over at that Chicopee bench, and there's not a lot of players out there. Just 6 guys dressed on that bench. So that's another challenge that the Pacers face coming into this game. Not a lot of depth.
Yeah, definitely tough, especially in soccer. You need a lot of stamina to play this sport.
And there's a good-looking pass, and jumping up into the play is Geyer. Gianni Geyer. Patiently waiting for the rest of his team to catch up. Drop back, good ball movement. Mazza, the cross, knocked down and cleared. And Kaiser settles it. All the way forward. Looking to see if anyone other than Kaiser can get an opportunity down the field, but Langevin couldn't do much with it, and it's going to be thrown down by Walczyk. Spartans continue to dominate possession. 4:20 left in the quarter. Here comes Sonny Mazza. A shot on net, and it's tipped out of play by Berube. What a save, as that ball was ticketed for the top shelf. But Mazza just couldn't quite sneak in that second goal of the first quarter.
I think it went right in between both the football and soccer crossbars.
Yeah.
Just missed. Game of inches.
But Berube definitely got a piece of that. He got way up there to keep that ball out. He has had a busy first quarter. So this will lead to a corner kick. And we got a long delay, as I don't think there was another ball ready, and finally Maz is going to go track one down. So Mazza passes it in, and quickly a whistle. And they'll do it again. Geyer down there with them. And we'll see who ends up making the cross. Mazza's going to cut in and go baseline. Pass, a shot, and just past the outside post. A golden opportunity, and once again, Mazza marching on the doorstep, but he couldn't finish it. I think they're going to say that ball might have been deflected, so it's going to stay East Long Meadow ball.
Definitely another disadvantage is no corner kicks. They have to pass it in from the corner, so you're not going to be able to cross it and try and get a redirect or one-time attempt. So definitely another element of the game. A lot of scoring chances produced from corner kicks too. So.
Oh, and a huge collision at midfield. And they're going to call that one on East Long Meadow.
Wow. I don't know if I agree with that one, Colin.
There's some frustration on the Pacers sideline, so we sure know the direction that coaching staff was looking for. And look at this. Berube out to kick this one near midfield. And it'll just go from goaltender to goaltender. Walczyk rolls it. Uchavia. Mazza knocks it down. Good communication as well from the Spartans, but Geyer's pass is knocked down. Played with the chest. That is legal. And Langevin loses control. And the whistle will blow once more.
I believe that's Joe Mara getting his first minutes of the season.
90 seconds left in the first quarter. 2-0. East Long Meadow leads. Looking for their first victory of the season after an 0-2 start.
Great defense there. Great help defense.
I think that was Colin Evans who got in the way of that pass. Now at midfield, it's sent forward, and another through ball. Here's Mazza. Mazza fights it through, but Berube gets a piece of it, and it's cleared to safety. And you could see right there that Sonny Mazza was a little frustrated with himself, but credit to him, he's gotten almost, I want to say, 5 scoring chances now in this quarter alone, and he's capitalized on 1. Here he goes again. The pass centered, but he couldn't quite find the open man. There's a cross. 35 seconds left. Some contact there, fighting through it is Kuchavia. And we got a, looks like a ball was played above the waist there, and they're going to award possession to Chicopee. 20 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Kakovia, one of, if not the only, 4-year varsity player for the Spartans. He's been solid for them on defense throughout the past 4 years, starting there, I believe, this year, last year, and maybe even the year before. Definitely a huge part of the Spartans' success in the defensive area.
And what's happened here is Berube comes out and he gets bailed out by the defense. Remember, there was only a few seconds left, but almost a costly turnover that would have put Chicopee in an even deeper hole. But still, after 20 minutes of play, the Spartans take a 2-0 lead on the backs of Sonny Mazza and Ryan Morneau. So, Devin, your thoughts on a pretty dominant first quarter from the Spartans?
Yeah, it's the best soccer that they've played all year, for sure, 100%. But it might have to do a little bit with Chicopee not having a game played under their belt. So, you know, there's a lot of factors that go into this, but the Spartans look strong. Great passing, great scoring opportunities. Sonny Mazza looks spectacular. Ryan Morneau, great playmaking ability, and each of them rewarded with a goal. But I'm excited to see how the rest of this game plays out. Definitely a little bit of, I'd say about 80-20 Spartans have controlled this game, but, you know, there's a lot of time left. Anything can happen. They got to keep their pedal to the metal.
And you know, Devin, it seemed like almost everyone got an opportunity in that game for the Spartans, as there were some fresh legs rotated constantly. And it seemed like everyone also got an opportunity to get a shot on net. I mean, everyone was up, applying immense pressure on this Pacers team. Do you expect the Spartans to try to lay off the gas a little bit and maybe save their legs for the second half, or do you expect that same aggressive approach as we enter the second quarter?
I think they're hungry. I definitely think they're going to be a little excited with a 2-0 lead. They might try and do a little more fancy things. They might try and get a few more shots off, like we saw Weldon pull one from very far away. We might see a little more of that. But I'm sure the coach will settle them down right now, let them know, like, hey, this is the biggest lead we've had all year. This is the only goals we've had all year. We need to keep pounding it and make a statement here, because this is going to kind of outline the rest of the season, the energy we bring here tonight.
Final seconds of this brief intermission ticking off. And again, East Long Meadow looking for that win number 1, and sometimes a win at home is all it takes after a win, a 4-0 win on Monday for the girls team against Long Meadow. They turned that around and ended up going into a matchup against Chicopee and ended up winning that game 5-0. So outscoring their opponents 9-0 over the last 2 games. All it takes is one big game at home, and it looks like the boys team is trending in that direction. But still a lot of soccer left to be played. 60 minutes remaining in this game as we are set to enter the second quarter. A reminder that the time has changed. It used to be halves. Now we're switching up to quarters due to COVID regulations.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out something that I saw the last game. We saw Enzo Mazza, another great player for the Spartans, go down with an injury, and he is sidelined tonight. I just noticed that, wearing his sweatpants and hoodie. He went down with a bad leg, I believe it was a leg injury. He had to get helped off the field, and the golf cart took him away. So lucky to see that he's walking, but definitely deserves a night off, and hopefully he can rehab and get back on the field for the Spartans. Big key player that they need very badly.
Yeah, he's standing on the sidelines, no crutches, no wraps or anything like that. So that's got to be a good sign, and he'll have the weekend to try to recover and hopefully get back out there next week. A big piece for this team. And when you add him back to the mix, that makes this team even more scary considering they're up 2-0 without him right now. All right, Spartans will put the ball in at midfield. And they're wasting no time going upfield with Brunel. Pass fought through and sent all the way back in, and there's that lone forward that's been getting action all game, Kaiser.
I think their coach just yeah. I was going to say, if they played that, they just missed that badly. The coach kicked it back in.
So Michael Thomas.
How about that name?
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't get hurt too.
Good point. That cross is going to go past everyone. Sweeney smartly lets that one go. Didn't want to knock that one down and give an opportunity on a rebound for Chicopee.
Temperature definitely dropping
yeah.
here. It's starting to feel like fall, but one of my favorite things, I was inside doing homework all day, Colin. Midterms, tests, the whole deal. I walked outside. The air smells like the best thing of all time. I don't know why. I walked outside. I was like, wow, this is some crisp fall air. I was like, it's definitely the highlight of my day, considering I wrote about the civil rights movement for 6.5 hours. Not that that's not fun, but definitely could use a break from it.
Welcome to college, my friend. Another whistle blows and East Long Meadow will be awarded possession. Another factor that you have to keep in mind is the lack of away parents and spectators in this game due to the limitations on crowd sizes. So it's got to be tough for these Pacers to play without, that extra motivation of mom and dad in the stands or a sibling or anything like that.
Yeah, you got to feel bad for them because I've seen people driving out here from Chicopee and getting turned away by the athletic director because unfortunately you're not allowed to do that due to regulations and the protocol. So it kind of stinks to see that happen to them, and they definitely lose some fans. I'm sure they're outside the black fence somewhere, but definitely demoralizing and definitely will hurt your mindset coming into the game.
We appreciate any of those Pacers fans who are tuning into this broadcast. And that one is sent all the way down by Baruch. And we got a collision as going down hard was Morneau, who scored that second goal for the Spartans in the first quarter. So the Spartans knock it down at midfield. And a box out there trying to keep them in front, and they're going to get them for it. That was
McKegney.
Yep, Brady McKegney.
Yeah, like I said, just shielding the ball, basic element of the game, especially for a defensive player, and you're not allowed to do it anymore. It's got to be hard.
That was a hard shot that was knocked down, and absorbing all of that one was Morneau. I'm sure he's a little shaken up. Meanwhile, Adamo gets that return pass and can't handle it. Looked like it touched him last, and it did.
Jacob Fischetto also checking into the game.
Yeah, I mean, constantly you got fresh players out there. It's almost like everyone on the roster has already played in this game, and Spartans taking advantage of that depth. They're giving some of their key guys, including Sonny Mazza, a rest at the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, definitely good to see some of the younger guys getting some minutes in, especially in a varsity setting. Ben Biggins getting a few great minutes in for the Spartans, had a few great defensive plays. Dante Bates, I believe the junior, has gotten some good minutes in. So hopefully we get to continue to see those younger guys kind of get worked into the system a little more, get a little more comfortable playing under the lights of varsity setting, and maybe they can become a bigger part of this team, especially for the future.
Looking for that direct or indirect kick, but it's quickly whistled dead, and some frustration there from Langevin. And just like that, right on cue, Sonny Mazza ready to check back into the game. Next stoppage, he will be back in. And a big boost to that Spartans offense, and it's kept alive. A good, nimble play by Adamo. Brunel switching fields. Here comes Jack Sweeney. Sweeney's pass is knocked down and cleared out of play. And in comes Sonny Mazza.
5 minutes into quarter number 2.
Still a 2-0 lead for the Spartans. Also checking in is Ali Khalid for Chicopee. He will replace Raquelme Borges. That ball ends up going right back out of play and got a delay here as Maz is going to go run it down. But again, an aggressive approach for the Spartans. Everyone past that midline, trying to extend the lead in the second quarter. And
a lot of confusion going on the Spartan sideline.
you can hear Sweeney say, "My bad." Ball driven on net, a one-hopper knocked down by Barub. And the whistle blows as I think it's because it wasn't a indirect kick because the next touch was Barubi, so smart play for him to come out and play that ball.
Yeah, and the players standing on the sidelines trying to stay warm. You see Cortina jumping in place over there. Starting to get cold, as we said, lowering just about 50 degrees now. And Cortina trying to stay warm along with some of the other guys who aren't even wearing any Under Armour or anything like that, just shorts and shirt.
And a normal season, Devin, it's halfway through. We're only 3 games in now for the Spartans, and this is the debut for this Chicopee team. So going to be quite the adjustment not having to play in some of this hot weather as comes a dangerous play in front, and Walczak has to send it all the way down. And this might lead to a chance for East Longmeadow, but
some good speed.
Yep, good job getting back by Victor Moreno, and he was able to just knock that ball out of play. 12:45 left in the second quarter. There was not a JV game before, and I'm assuming due to the lack of Chicopee players, I don't think they ended up having that squad here, but I could be wrong. I don't know if it was before. I just don't. I came here. I'm like, oh, everyone's warming up, and I got here at 6:20. So
there you go. Must not have been. Maybe Chicopee doesn't have a JV team, judging by their varsity bench. They don't have a lot of guys on the bench, so pretty safe to assume maybe they don't have a JV team. I'm sure the JVs for the Spartans had maybe a scrimmage or something, inter squad.
Shadow goes down, draws the foul. 12 minutes left in the quarter. And quickly put in play, there's a wide open Spartan. It's Luke Mazza. Brunel. Shot blocked.
It was a great play.
Pass, trying to get it back to Mazza, just a little bit too far forward from Colin Evans.
And you gotta love, like every free kick, it seems like all hell's broken loose on everybody on the field yelling at something, yelling for somebody to go somewhere. Pretty funny to kind of sit here and see.
Luke Mazza can't keep it in front of him. Moreno coming the other way. Good positioning there from McKechnie. Here's Evans cutting towards the net front. Shot is blocked. Second effort, though, from Mazza. A beautiful pass gets through to the other Mazza, and that shot is knocked down. Played back. Good patience from the Spartans' defense. Luke Mazza, cross in front. Looking for a bicycle kick and not getting it down was, I think that was Colin Evans in front looking for it, but a very difficult play. He couldn't quite make it. There's a quick shot on net, and that one will bend wide as that was Ryan Morneau looking for his second goal, but the offense just continues to be ferocious from the Spartans.
Yeah, what an attempt from Evans to get all the way up in the air, and he just missed it. But before that, why don't we take a look at how Luke Mazza created that space, able to come inside towards the goal line and able to make that crossing pass and set up the scoring opportunity for East Longmeadow. Great awareness from Mazza and a great move.
Shadow comes out. He'll take a rest. I believe it was Cortina who came in to replace him. Brunel's pass is right to the Chicopee defense. But turning back upfield's Morneau. His pass is knocked down, but it continues forward, and Right on cue, Cortina was cutting in to try to generate an opportunity, and he forces a clearing attempt that goes out of play. Sonny Mazza. His pass doesn't get through. Was it knocked down, though? And it was. So a quote-unquote corner kick, not your typical one.
A 9.5 to go in the first half of action. Still 2-0 our score.
East Longmeadow has played most of this game in the attacking half of the field. Some substitutions come in, or come out, rather. Jack Sweeney's out. There's a shot knocked down by Chicopee and sent upfield, but kept alive. A good play with the chest.
Yeah, you can see immediately goes to touch it, whoever that was after. That ball's got to hurt, especially it's probably cold and rock hard from the weather, so that doesn't feel good, I'll tell you that.
Pacers with a couple upfield and jumping up into the play, it's Moreno. But Moreno can't get much on that, and Walczak sends it up. Danger is not passed. Here comes some help. There's a shot on net. A diving save. Rebound is put in. Oh. What a miraculous initial save that was by Walczak, but on the rebound, it's put in. I think that was Ethan Langevin. It was. So just like that, Chicopee with one strong upfield push, and they cut the lead in half with 8:20 remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, one unbelievable stop originally by Colin Walczak. Full extension. You even heard Mr. Mack have a nice little reaction up there. Like, wow, holy cow, how is that even possible? But a great rebound, right place, right time, and, you know, that's what's going to happen if the Spartans aren't getting back on defense.
That would have been something else if he was able to stop that second shot from Langevin, but it was not to be so. Langevin scores the first goal of the season for Chicopee, and all of a sudden the Pacers have some life, and here they come upfield. But a little bit of a stumble, and that allows the Spartans to retake possession.
Great back check.
Just a little too far forward there by Brunel. Splitting the D in front forward, and there's a collision knocking over.
A forehead slide right there, Biggins. That couldn't have felt good.
It was Dominic Rodrigo who knocked him down. But that's actually, they're going to give possession to Chicopee. So they're going to say that Biggins took away his space, it looks like. Crossing attempt is knocked back towards the Spartans' goal and turned over. There's the goal scorer, Langevin, looking for another shot on net. It's knocked down. Second effort gets through. And we're going to get another foul called on East Longmeadow.
This one could be direct, too, from my understanding. Well, that's probably not a
Who
good
knows
assurance.
with the rules right now?
And who knows because of my knowledge in the sport of soccer, quite frankly.
So Victor Moreno looks to be the one who will have that first touch. Langevin there as well.
I believe they're definitely gonna be able to get a shot off because worst case scenario they touch pass and then bang. So Walczak's gonna have to be on his toes here, and Spartan's gonna have to step up and take one for the team if they want to prevent a goal here. Odds definitely against them.
Let's see who takes a shot for Chicopee.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Colin, like you were saying, we got a ball game on our hands.
Nathan Roberts out there with Langevin. They're communicating on how to approach this. There's the wall being constructed.
6 minutes to go in the first half.
Brunel getting told to move back in and try to get in front of this potential shot. Here we go. Roberts touches it for Moreno, and a good play by Brunel to get it out.
That was not the move. If you're Chicopee, you got to just... He did take the first touch, too.
Yep.
So I wonder if they had to pass or could shoot there, because if they had to pass, then, you know, that was kind of a lazy pass. But if he was able to shoot, I don't know why he decided to drop it back.
You saw the hustle there from Sonny Mazza trying to generate something on his own. It was a one-on-one play, but he was unable to keep it in for East Longmeadow, so Chicopee will put it back in play. I don't think it's a goal kick. It's just down in the corner. And again, interestingly enough, Berube is just going to use that strength, and he ends up putting it out of bounds, so
Thank you.
giving it right back to the Spartans. So Luke Mazza will put it in play. That pass gets all the way through. Cortina looking to cross it, but
Ooh.
it just trickles out. And here comes some substitutions, 3 of them taking place for Chicopee, and that includes Ethan Langevin, the goal scorer, coming off. I'm sure they're just going to give him quite some rest for the final 4:30 of this half. 2-1 East Long Meadow. Spartans jumped out to a 2-0 lead, but Chicopee a few moments ago
Spartans.
cutting it. And there's a bad turnover by Chicopee. Sorry about that, Devin.
No, absolutely. But Spartans have definitely still been in control, but Chicopee, that one golden opportunity, and when the Spartans make a mistake, you got to capitalize, especially when you're down 2 goals, and Chicopee did just that to make it a ball game. But Spartans definitely still have been in control most of this game. Don't let the score reflect how close this has been.
Nice play by Luke Mazza to evade the defender, Biggins.
Calling for the balls more. No, he's getting frustrated with his teammates wide open.
Chip pass, knocked down. And coming back to play it. And nice soft touch by Evans, and it's sent forward. Is it an onside play?
See, that's when you want to use your head right there. Just tap it and go.
It is, and it's Cortina. Cortina splitting the D. There's a shot on net and a nice save made by Berube. Wow. Aiden Berube with a couple of huge saves to keep it a 1-possession game.
But another great hustle play by Cortina to even create the chance. If I had to pick a guy in the Spartans that's the biggest workhorse, it's definitely Jalen Cortina. Always never giving up on a play. Definitely, there's some faster guys on the team, but Jalen's work ethic has definitely picked up the slack for him. And he's fast, to say the least, too.
Off comes Brunel, in comes Karana.
There's not too many slow kids in soccer, rather.
Karana the junior, his brother was a Super 7 in tennis. Back in 2016 and 2017, I believe, both those years for East Long Meadow High. Wind's starting to pick up. Spartans using their defense and a little bit too far forward by Weldon. That'll be out of play off of East Long Meadow.
Yeah, it feels like I'm getting 54 degrees here. So definitely getting cold, starting to turn into fall. Hopefully the players running around there are a little warmer, but everybody in the stands and us calling the game starting to feel a little chill on the bones.
Certainly. On this Friday night. Approaching the long weekend for East Long Meadow. Pretty sure it was a half day as well for the all public schools with professional development. At least it was for my mom, who's a teacher over at Meadowbrook.
Gotcha.
Minute and a half approaching. Chicopee looking for the equalizer. There's a hard shot, but well wide, and you could see trying to favor that right foot. It was a striker, but might have been better off trying to go with that left foot instead. Instead, it's a goal kick for the Spartans with 1:15 left in the half. Soft touch there from Sonny Mazza. And now the Pacers can't get it through Stevens on the far side, and it's nudged out of play. .45 seconds and counting. It's a deep pass for Mazza. And that's going to be a push from behind. That's going to be Spartans' ball. 35 seconds now.
I'm sure Jalen had a few words for him there. Definitely a fierce competitor, not afraid to talk to the other team and get inside their head.
Yeah, and they're going to blow the whistle because not everyone was set up there. And it leads to a quick turnover instead of what could have been a great scoring chance for the Spartans. The ball will roll all the way out. 10 seconds remaining. That'll eat up almost all of the remaining time in this half. Don't even think Chicopee's going to get a chance to get it in. They just nudge it forward, and that will be the end of the first 40 minutes of action from East Longmeadow High School. The Spartans jumped out to a 2-0 lead thanks to goals from Sonny Mazza as well as Ryan Morneau in the first quarter, but Ethan Langevin's first goal of the season ends up cutting the lead in half. It is 2-1 at half. Any final thoughts before we go to break, Devin?
No, I just feel like the Spartans definitely coasted. They still got some great opportunities, but unfortunately couldn't capitalize. Coast might be the wrong word. They still applied great pressure, but Chicopee able to capitalize on a mistake that they made, and I'm sure they don't usually. Colin Walczak had a great initial save, but the rebound killed them. You got to get back on defense, and unfortunately came to hurt them. And we got a ball game going into half number 2, Colin.
Quick reminder to all those tuning in, if at all the stream ends up cutting out, we just tell you to refresh the page, and it should end up showing back up. Wi-Fi is a little bit spotty out here on the turf, so keep that in mind. All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll bring you the second half of action. Once again, East Longmeadow 2, Chicopee 1 at the half in this boys varsity matchup presented by LCAP. Second half set to begin from East Longmeadow High School. Colin Casey alongside Devin Dobeck. 2-1 lead for East Longmeadow over Chicopee. So they were able to jump out to a 2-0 lead, but Chicopee with a little bit of a push at the end of the second half. Devin, that's got to be a positive if you're on that Pacers sidelines and seeing, hey, we're still in this game, and we got a lot of great opportunities towards the end of that second quarter.
Yeah, I think we're going to see within the first 5 minutes of this half who's going to win this game. Who came out at halftime, who got their 10 minutes, who stayed warm, who stayed loose, who's got the most energy coming in, and who's going to win this game. We're going to find out right here.
Pacers control possession to start, and they end up putting it out of play. That was off the foot of Ethan Langevin, who has the lone goal for Chicopee. Pass sent on through by Rodrigo. Chicopee trying to drive some shots through and trying to get one in on net. And that one misses wide, and diving out and corralling it relatively easily is Colin Walczak. Walczak's had a really impressive game in net, made a huge save prior to the goal that cut the lead in half. Pass forward for Sonny Mazza.
Great ball movement.
Ends up knocking a man over on they play. Pass forward, Morneau with a beautiful pass, and the shot ends up going wide.
Oh my gosh. Jalen is going to have a nightmare. He just had a mental breakdown, I think. He just missed however many feet of the net that was.
I was confused because that ball ended up hitting another ball that was just to the right of that post, so I was stunned that that ball didn't end up going in. Great ball movement by the Spartans, and somehow it doesn't result in a goal. Can East Longmeadow keep up the pressure?
Yeah, Jalen's definitely going to remember that one. Hopefully he gets a little chip on his shoulder there, as I've said before, and is able to capitalize on his next opportunity.
Jack Sweeney's cross field pass, but a good burst of speed, and it's taken away by Michael Thomas. Thomas can't connect on that pass further down the field, though. That's why he's a wide receiver. Come on, I had to make one of those jokes at any point. 2 minutes into the second half. And East Longmeadow with it on the far side. Through pass finds Sonny Mazza. Mazza waiting for help, but he gets knocked off the ball. No, they're going to call a foul. From here, it looked like it was all ball, but they're going to go ahead and blow the whistle and award possession to the Spartans.
And we're going to just Nick Saraceno's tuning in. I'm getting a text from him up in New Hampshire, up at Keene State, so a little shout out to Nick. Hope you're on your best behavior up there on a Friday night. I assume you're studying and getting ready for your midterms I'm sure you're going through. Please stay safe and get to bed at a reasonable hour, my friend.
There's a shot on net, and that's going to be out of play because it hit the post, or the crossbar rather, of the football goal. Hopefully Nick continues to tune in once hockey season rolls around.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he's going to be begging me to get on a call if he's home from winter break. I've already had a few texts. Mike Monahan is in for a game.
Nice, nice.
So we're going to have quite the crew. We're going to have, I think we're going to have Doc, Eddie, and Pierre for hockey.
Yeah. I actually never broadcasted an East Long Meadow High School hockey game, which is ironic because all I do at UMass is broadcast hockey. So.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I definitely loved it. Great energy, especially last year. What a team. And there was some barn burner games. When you think back to West Springfield and Minichog, holy cow.
See what's going on here. They got the ball marked right now inside the box and a wall of defenders sent there. I don't know exactly what that was, but it's going to be a goal kick.
I don't agree with that.
I am confused as to what that even was because it seemed like for a second it was going to be an indirect kick inside the box from there, which wouldn't make any sense in the first place. Anyways, goal kick sent down, knocked down by the Spartans. Morneau, who has a goal in this one, and Barube comes out to send that one all the way back towards his counterpart. Ooh. And a good hustle play, a shot on net and missing wide to the near side was Kaiser, who had a number of those chances in the first quarter.
Spartans get bailed out again. Another golden opportunity for Chicopee. Just couldn't quite control that one, and the shot rattled wide to Walczak's left.
Yeah, the energy has certainly been there since that second quarter for Chicopee, despite this being their first game. So here comes a goal kick. Walczak looking upfield, and he drives that one to the far side and is knocked down by Luke Mazza. Reinforcements send this one upfield. Sonny was looking for it. It's fought through and an attempt at a head ball, but he didn't make contact, and that was probably...
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, that was probably a good thing because that would have set up an indirect kick not too far from goal. Spartans move it to the near side now. That shot attempt is topped and going down hard, stumbling and slow to get up. That was Colin Evans. Out of bounds off of East Long Meadow. 14:20 left in the third quarter. Still a 2-1 Spartans lead.
It is a little cold, and I know you're in your suit. The wind must be getting through to you. I'm in my sweatshirt here, but I think it's beautiful out tonight. I'll be honest, Colin. It's a little cold, but we're sitting. The wind's kind of getting blocked off because we got the booth right behind us. But I think all in all, I think it's kind of a nice fall evening out here.
Yeah, a lot better than what it was on Wednesday night when those storms rolled through, knocked out half the town's power, including mine.
I called that game. We got here. We were making jokes. We just got through them. We had to drive through a monsoon to get here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was sitting at home without power for the whole night.
Yeah, but luckily the girls rewarded us with a 5-0 dominant win.
Yeah. Boys looking to get it done now, and there's a tackle from behind, and that's going to
So see, I feel like if I did that in FIFA, I feel like I'd get a card for that.
Yeah.
I feel like you cannot tackle from behind, but who am I?
Especially including the restrictions put on with slide tackling and whatnot.
I guess I'm not a soccer aficionado, so I'll let it slide.
Fair enough. Neither am I, and they're going to call that one on Chicopee, which takes away a pretty good scoring chance that was developing for the Pacers. Under 13 to go now in the quarter. Jack Sweeney. Pass to the near side. Stevens. Stevens muscling his way through, and they're going to actually...
Wow, they whistled it out?
They got him for it.
Did they whistle? Did they call it out of bounds, or did they say he was
good question.
Shielding it? I didn't see the ball go out of bounds, so I'm going to assume it was a penalty.
Yeah, let's see where they mark this, too, when it's put in. They're going to put it in
play.
It's all the way up here. I was confused as to why the ball was that far back.
Me as well.
The infraction definitely took place on the Spartans' defensive half of the field. So finally launched in by Anasari. Kept alive in the corner. Working on Sweeney, and Jack Sweeney with good patience and a great pass upfield. He's had himself quite the strong game, and to the far side, tapped forward. Mazza fighting through it. Still has it. Luke Mazza
So
is
shifty.
dragged down from behind. And we got a free kick coming up.
Yeah, Luke Mazza, very elusive for the Spartans. A lot of moves. Great playmaker as well.
Those Mazzas have a ton of speed as well.
I think I don't know if they're all related.
And there's a
I know 2 of them are twins.
ball launched well out of play, so wasted opportunity for the Spartans yet again. And it seems like those scoring chances for East Long Meadow are starting to come few and far between compared to what we saw in the first quarter. Chicopee starting to finally find their rhythm, and they're going to send this ball all the way back down to do it again. Some other news for not exactly East Long Meadow directly related. Well, I guess they are pretty much related considering it was a match against East Long Meadow Minneshaw golfer with a hole-in-one this week.
Me and Brennan were there.
Yeah. That was on 1, right, at Elmcrest?
Yeah, it's a par 4. It's a 240, 250-yard par 4. They moved the tee box way up because
still
they built this new tent. The tee box is actually pretty beat up, too. It's not in the best condition because it's pretty much in the old fairway, which is also kind of, you know, deteriorated a little bit.
Right.
But this kid, I've never seen a more pure shot in my entire life. And it rolled up, and we were all watching it. We were like, oh, my gosh. Like, this, I saw it. I was like, I wish I could. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. But the ball was pinned against the pin, so we thought, so it looked like it wasn't in because it was still like being held on the rim. And so we thought it was right behind. We were like, still, holy cow, this kid's going to have an unbelievable eagle putt. We walk in, and it's pinned against the pin. He taps the pin, it falls in.
Yep.
We're like, oh my gosh.
just your run-of-the-mill double eagle.
Yeah.
That one looked like it was played with a head.
How about an ace on a par 4, though?
Yeah. Bodies everywhere right there on the play, and yeah, I mean, I wish the tee box was there when I was playing golf over in Elmcrest in high school. Probably would have saved a lot of balls out of bounds to the right, but
I mean, he had to be hitting like a 4-iron or something. Like
Right.
This was not like he didn't just hit like, you know, a good straight drive. This kid pured a low iron. I think his name's Dom Dos Santos.
Yep,
Correct me if
that's
I'm wrong.
right. Yep. Minnechaug would end up taking the match. Been tough if they didn't, based on that hole-in-one again on a par 4.
But Colin, how about walking up to the second tee 3 under?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what's going through your mind there?
If I'm 1 over going on to 2, you know, I'm feeling okay. But if I'm even or even 1 under, like, I'm ecstatic. I can't imagine 3 under.
There's a golden opportunity for the Pacers. The rebound comes free, and it's in the back of the net. A breakdown in front by the Spartans, and this game is tied. And you can see the frustration from the goaltender, Waltzak. So many opportunities, and all of a sudden we have a brand new ball game with 8:46 to go. Unassisted goal for Dominic Rodrigo.
Wow. Like I said, one team's going to come out with a lot of heart, and right now it's been Chicopee. Spartans still have looked solid, but
Chicopee
just a
goal
few
scored by
huge
number 8,
mistakes and
Dominic
defensive
Rodrigo.
collapses that have just really hurt them. And Chicopee has made no mistake to capitalize on the few chances they've had.
So it's been a tale of now 2.5 quarters, essentially, as first quarter was all East Long Meadow. Since then, it's been all Chicopee. Pacers trying to make it 3 unanswered, and they're going to blow it dead on trying to make that play was Kaiser, but did something wrong. That's all I know. But yeah, back to that point, going in 3 under the
I can't imagine going on to the second tee box 3 strokes under par. I think he would finish even par, if not 1 over. So that maybe stinks for him.
Right.
Probably would have liked to finish under.
Yeah, I believe it's 35 on the front at Elmcrest.
Yes, and I think he's shot 35, 36. I was talking to Peter Worst, his playing mate, either 1 or 2 on Minnechaug. Peter, a very strong golfer as well.
Right.
But yeah, he was texting me. He wanted the video, which Brennan time-lapsed, so we had to send them about 8 pictures of the kid during his swing. So yeah, you know, Brennan, I'm sure you're not tuned in, which is a good thing, because I'm sure I'd get a text from you. But he figured it out, and it turned out to be all right. You can check out the golf highlights on YouTube at LCAT. Maybe a little humor there, too.
Pretty sure the school record for East Long Meadow, at least at Elmcrest, but overall is 31 from Noah Peterson, which was my senior year. I remember I have the recording of that final putt. Knocking
was
that one
it?
down at 9:31, 4 under.
Where? At Elmcrest?
Yeah, front 9 at Elmcrest.
Holy cow.
I was in the group behind. I don't know if it was in the group behind him. I wasn't the 3 or the 4. I think the way things shaked out, we were behind him. And so I got up there. I heard rumblings, I think, from Coach Courtney or whoever it was saying that Noah's got a shot at the school record. I'm like, oh, what is he under? He's like, I think he said at the time he was 3 under, and he ended up parring out. So, or no, you know what? I think he made birdie on 9. So I think he was
4 under?
No, he was 3 under, and then made that to be 4 under. That putt was for 31, I remember.
Jeez.
It was off the front edge, too, so it wasn't an easy one by any stretch. Good 12-footer.
I think I'd hang up the golf shoes after that round.
Yeah.
We got out for a round, Colin. I don't know if we shot exactly 31.
No. Maybe on like 3 holes. But yeah, Peterson would go on to compete really tightly in that state championship individuals as a senior out in Eastern Mass, and ended up falling just short in a playoff hole.
And now he's playing Division I down at Winthrop in Carolina?
Yep, South Carolina, entering his senior year there. So,
wow.
Not to campaign for him exactly, but hopefully the East Long Meadow Athletic Hall of Fame is calling his name after an incredible 4-year golf career that he had.
And we're sitting right below an East Long Meadow Athletic Hall of Famer, Mr. Mack. A lot of people don't know Mr. Mack was a pretty good running back. 9 yards of carry in high school. How about that? 9 yards of carry.
5:10 remaining. And again, Chicopee continues to control the pace. We got a delay here before they put this one in play. And it's finally chipped forward on net, knocked down. Second touch comes, a bicycle attempt. And I don't believe that's legal, so that's going to be...
Really?
I don't know. I think it was because it was played above his head or something like that. I don't know. But it was, regardless, a very strong attempt. If that ball got through, that might have had a chance at going into the back of the net.
That can't feel good on your tailbone when you land. I don't know.
Yeah.
Soccer players, I mean, for the amount that they flop, they also make some plays that you think would hurt them more than, trying to draw a foul, but they still, I don't know.
Especially on this cold turf.
Yeah, jeez. And they get up there, especially for the bicycle kick. That's like a 3 or 4, probably 3, maybe 4 foot, just drop straight down on your butt or your back.
Lead pass by Moreno is finally tracked down. The shot is blocked. That was Borges trying to get one through. Borges comes back to help. The Spartans trying to set up what they had going early on, and unable to settle that bouncing ball was Mara.
Just joining us, 4 minutes left in quarter number 3. Chicopee has evened it at 2 apiece.
Yeah, I'm sure there might be some folks that tuned in at the start of the game, went to go do something, come back, and all of a sudden, no, it's 2-2. What happened? And really, it was just a shift in tides, in momentum. And, credit to Aiden Berube, who did give up 2 early goals, but he made a couple of really big saves in that first half.
Spartans have had some solid opportunities, but I'm sure Jalen Cortina is definitely scratching his head, wondering how he missed that empty netter. Could have given the Spartans a commanding 3-0 or 3-1 lead rather.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he's definitely pretty upset.
And now look at the momentum shift that we've seen since then.
Yeah.
Knocked down.
Look at this.
Fighting
Look
through.
at this.
A shot doesn't get much on it. Griffin
Spinning
Daly.
ball. It's like a dreidel, that ball.
Daly plays it back. There's a drive looking for a cross. Another shot, and it just misses the top right corner. Waiting there to put that one in was Kaiser. And, man, Chicopee just continues to
They have all
fight.
the momentum.
Yeah, all
Coming
of it.
down from a 2-0 lead. You haven't played a game this season. Spartans are just coasting. They're just on their heels right now playing defensive soccer. They got to start to I haven't seen I could maybe just be missing something, but I haven't seen or at least heard you mention Sonny Mazza in a while, Colin.
Yeah, not since the start of the quarter.
Hasn't been much of a factor.
And a lot of it's just the defense has had trouble getting the ball out of their own end.
He is out there, but yeah, haven't heard his name. The Chicopee defense has just been honing in on the Spartans.
And there is Sonny Mazza taking it forward. Could this be the push-up field that they need? Mara back to Sweeney. Sweeney trying to feed it back to Mara, but good defensive positioning. Karana knocks it down. It's nudged back. Mara pass a little bit too far forward, and that's going to force Walczak to come out. Controlled passing, though, by the Spartans. Sent forward and knocked down by Evans.
McKechnie launches one there.
Can anyone get there in time? Hustling to get there was Guimaraes, but he can't. Now there's a mad scramble for the ball. There's a drive on net and an easy save by Berube.
Yeah, we were saying, Colin, in our last broadcast of the boys, Anthony Guimaraes is an outstanding football player for East Long Meadow last year on the defensive side of things. And so interesting to see him in a soccer uniform, but he might even play football.
He'll be able to, yeah.
So
and
maybe a little, oh geez, a little extra there from Bates. And they seem to have worked it out.
Yep. Been a physical game, to say the least, especially given the parameters that the players have to deal with here. 40 seconds left in this third quarter, and if the score holds, we are in for an exciting fourth.
Yeah, Colin, from the looks of the first quarter of play, I was actually set for the Spartans to kind of run away with this one, but here we are, tie game heading into quarter number 4, and we have a much more competitive, and it's going to be a great finish. The only thing with soccer, well, I can't say there's, okay, I'm going to stay away from that, but with soccer, I don't like the fact that there's ties. I think that's very, I don't know, I think there's got to be a winner, there's got to be a loser.
Final 5 seconds of the half, or of the quarter, I should say, the third quarter. Ball's fed a little bit too far forward, and that will end the third. And how about Chicopee Pacers rallying to tie the game at 2 after 3 quarters of play? And we will keep it right here. Devin, you mentioned the momentum really has just disappeared from the Spartans since that strong first quarter. What do they need to do to try to get back to where they were at in that first?
Well, Colin, you take a look back at the first quarter and the end of the first half, the guys coming, running up to each other, chest bumping, high-fiving, running in, hollering, and now look at the team. I'm not sure if the camera's on, but, everybody's heads down, and they're walking, getting ready, and they're just they got to get that energy back up. They got to come out strong. They got to create some good opportunities and apply a lot of pressure, but on the other hand, they also have to get back on defense because Colin Walczak can't do it all. He's one of the best goaltenders in Western Mass, but if the defense isn't back there and, they're getting odd man opportunities or rebound opportunities, there's only so much he can do. So you got to just pedal to the metal, but also make sure you've got guys back. You can't, I know they're hungry for a win, and they really need one, especially against a Chicopee team that's unproven, and you don't want to start the season 0-3. That's just absolutely demoralizing. So hopefully the Spartans can get their act together, get their head, and hopefully bury one and run away with this one. 20 more minutes to play. It should be interesting. How about you, Colin?
It's all about getting that momentum back and starting off this fourth quarter with a strong push. We know the Spartans are capable of it because they did it in the first quarter. They just need to start getting those big opportunities. They had the advantage of Chicopee showing that rust early, but they are quickly picking up right where they left off last season for the Pacers and getting that momentum back. So the Spartans had their chance to put this game away. Now it's all tied up, and we're in for an exciting fourth quarter. For those who are just joining us, here's a quick update on what took place. Early on, it was Sonny Mazza who got the scoring, starting with a phenomenal goal to kick off the Spartans scoring not only in the game but on the season. It's 1-0, and then the Spartans were able to add to that lead not too long after with Ryan Morneau putting one in to make it 2-0. Then in the second quarter, Pacers finally showing some signs of life, and things started to turn with that goal from Ethan Langevin to make it 2-1, and then a defensive breakdown in the third quarter leading to an easy goal for Dominic Rodrigo, and probably what was the fourth opportunity within 10 feet of the net for Chicopee. So that is where we stand. Both teams heading back out onto the pitch.
Yeah, and you see Walczak trying to fire his team up. Definitely a leader. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure who the captains are, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is one. He's got to be. Definitely the heart and soul of this team in net. He's the energy they need. And with Colin rallying them up, hopefully the Spartans can create some opportunities and help out their goaltender, who has looked solid for them all night.
East Longmeadow will start with the ball. Fourth quarter underway from East Longmeadow High School. Cross to the near side. Played forward, but just too far forward by Stevens.
And they got to tighten up, too, the Spartans. They can't have sloppy passes like that.
How about this pass, though, sending in is Mazza.
Wow.
Ball ends up wide, but I think the whistle was blown before. The question, was it offsides or was it contact? And I think they're going to say that it was contact, but was it also in the box or just outside? Look at where the ref has his ball.
I thought there's delayed penalties in soccer like hockey, so I wonder why they didn't let that play through.
But I think it worked out because the ball ended up going wide. Here comes an indirect kick from relatively close. Huge opportunity for the Spartans, less than a minute into the final quarter.
These never worked in FIFA. Hopefully they can work for East Longmeadow.
Mazza and Morneau both up there. We'll see who gets that second touch. That'll probably be on net.
You could hear a pin drop here in this venue.
The anticipation building.
Everybody probably.
Morneau's going to be the one who will put it in.
We had teeth chattering and nail biting. As the Spartans have blown a 2-goal lead and just over a minute into quarter number 4. Hopefully they can regain it and shift the momentum back in their direction.
Chicopee had a similar opportunity in the third quarter, and they were unable to capitalize from the same distance.
Yeah, honestly, that was a waste of a prime scoring opportunity. That was a great play by Ryan Brunell of East Longmeadow. He made an unbelievable play there.
So here we go. Morneau. Looks like he'll just give it right off to Mazza.
That's the guy you want with the ball, too.
Mazza drives one on net, and it's blocked down. Very similar result to what we saw from the Pacers earlier, and it comes all the way back, and it is sent in by Walczak. Pacers trying to get some momentum off of that stop. Pat Stevens.
Yeah, and I'm hearing from behind us, and I was thinking the same thing. I almost did it, but I didn't want to cut off the play-by-play. It takes a while for them to set up those free kicks. A lot of clock burns out there.
Driven to the far side of the field. Jack Sweeney heads it off. Pass in forward. Mazza's spin move trying to get in, but Berube comes out and reads it and fires it to the near side of the field. It's quickly knocked down by Langevin. Langevin, that looked like it was off a hand. Advantage, though, for the Spartans, and on they play. Luke Mazza trying to fight it through to Sonny. And it's dropped back. Switching field now. And it's Ryan Brunell. That pass forward, a good one, looking for Cortina, but that'll go off of a pacer, and here comes a corner kick, and you can hear the crowd getting into it, knowing that the Spartans are starting to look like the Spartans that we saw in that first quarter.
Yeah, the third of the Mazza group, that we got Sonny, Enzo, and I guess Gus Mazza over there watching in the trees. Couldn't quite get in tonight, but Gus, how are you? We're glad you're tuned in. Thank you for tuning in.
Sonny's pass gets knocked down, and it's back to the midfield. There's a drive, and that was blocked down in front. Luke Mazza turning on the Jets, but he is boxed out. Clearing attempt is knocked down. The Spartans looking to get another golden opportunity. That looked like it was last touched by Chicopee, but not the case. It'll be a goal kick.
Almost 4 minutes gone by here. We got 16 to go. What do you think, Colin? The Spartans going to pull this one out, or?
They certainly have had the better opportunities in this fourth quarter so far. And right there, you see them knock it down and try to continue that pressure in on the Chicopee end of the field. It's a big jumble for the ball, but Pacers come away with it. Through pass, a little too far forward, and dropping back to make the play is Walczak. He'll slow it down, picks it up, and he will punt this thing back to the far side.
I also heard not allowed to punt past half field with the COVID. I don't know how that's a COVID regulation, but it is. Maybe because the ball's too high and comes down, and I don't know, feet swinging. I really couldn't tell you, but
Yeah, not quite sure.
that's what I've been told. I think our inside analyst, Grace Trito, who was a graduated Spartan soccer player, helped us out with the last broadcast.
That's right, yep.
Not because me and Brennan don't necessarily know what we're doing, but it was good to have somebody that has been in the game pretty much their whole life. And knows pretty much, these are all her old teammates as well.
A lot of knowledge for both the sport and for Spartans, who again faced Chicopee and ran away with a 5-0 victory against the Pacers here at East Long Meadow High School. That was back on Wednesday.
Not exactly the same result here tonight. We got a stalemate.
Chipped in on net, and a good play to clear that out. The rebound is sent way out of play, and just good positioning to knock that one down and preventing an opportunity by McKechnie. Spartans put it in. Morneau. Sonny Mazza with a self-pass. Streaking down the far side. Look at the speed from Mazza. He drives one on net. A save made by Berube. Rebound. Mazza can't get it through. It goes out of play, and it was last touched by Chicopee.
So, Colin, maybe you know, I don't. Why do they keep swapping the balls out?
It's a good question. I think it was because the ball touched someone's hand that wasn't
Jeez.
Berube.
That's pretty strict.
13:40 remain.
I wonder if the goalies have some sort of hand warmer in their gloves, because that ball, like when your hands get cold and something hits them, it almost feels like they're going to shatter right off. So I'd be interested to see either how warm those gloves are or if they're holding on to something inside there.
Luke Mazza can't get that pass to a teammate. Comes all the way back out and knocked down with the chest. Up forward, and here come the Spartans again. The cross forward, it's turned aside, knocked down, chance in front, shot, he scores!
There's Cortina.
Jalen Cortina finds the rebound and puts it in with 13 minutes remaining. The Spartans back out in front 3-2.
He finds his revenge. Huge goal for Cortina.
Crowd loves it. And the Spartans picking it up. The assist, they're going to give that one to Pat Stevens, and it was a great job by Stevens to knock down the ball. It was heading towards out of play. He was able to knock it down, direct it back towards net, and Jalen Cortina picks up his first goal of the season.
And the goaltender almost got to it. That would
East
have
Long
been.
Meadow goal by number 9, Jalen Cortina. Number 14,
Yeah, Cortina stole one there.
Patrick Stevens on the assist.
So now the question is, how do the Spartans approach this with under 13 to play? We know that surge is going to come from the Pacers because they showed it in that third quarter. Now Chicopee behind once again. They're going to crank up the pressure. And what a game it has been on this Friday night. There's a cross in on net, knocked down. Going the other way, Brunel. And the ball comes to the near side. It's chipped forward. Mazza trying to stay on side. He knocks it down, but I think they are going to call him offsides.
Yeah, some of the Spartans' stronger players we haven't heard much of in this half, including Morneau and Evans. Definitely some of the faster and more playmaker caliber players. We haven't heard a lot of their names. They're going to have to mix in the action, into the action if they want to help the Spartans hold on here.
Langevin, who's got a goal for Chicopee. Working on him. Cross, knocked down, but not much on it, and it's easily settled by the goaltender, Waltzak. Colin Waltzak picks it up. Just palming it. And he drives it in, but ends up turning the ball over. Moreno ends up falling down, and Moreno's slow to get up. I think he's holding his calf.
Colin, I'm going to throw this in there for anyone tuned in who's a hockey fan. Definitely breaks my heart, but Torrey Krug to St. Louis on a 7-year, $45 million deal.
No, I was worried about that.
Yep, so Torrey Krug.
Good for him for getting paid. I was really hoping Detroit was going to be the team. But oh, man.
Torrey Krug, 7 years, $45 million. But, yeah, definitely going to hurt to see him go. Such a big part of this Bruins organization. 7 years, wow, yeah. He's gone for good.
So Marino gets up under his own power and walks off, which is a good sign. And yeah, Torrey Krug to St. Louis, that just already
that
feels
took the
weird.
wind out of my sails.
Yeah. But the Spartans look to continue their success in this one. 11-10 remaining, 3-2 lead for East Long Meadow. Looking for their first victory
I have his autograph.
Of the season. I think I do too.
That stinks.
I have a hat with a lot of Bruins autographs. I don't know exactly if he was. I can't remember if he was one of them off the top of my head.
I can't believe they let him walk.
Yeah.
They re-signed Kevin Miller today.
Yeah, it was for $1 million, so that one makes a little more sense. And Krug was getting a lot of money. So the question is, where do they go now? Is Oliver Ekman-Larsson?
That's what I was just going to bring up. I don't know why they haven't worked out anything for him. The captain of the Coyotes. I don't know why you wouldn't want a guy like that, size and.
And you'd have to assume that Zdeno Chara is probably going to be coming back on a 1-year deal now.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about that. Love you, Chara, but yeah, there's a time for everything, as all good things do, come to an end.
Man, Torrey Krug to St. Louis. Oh.
Yeah, that definitely is not sitting well.
No,
with
it
me.
is not.
I'm sure my dad is probably in tears right now.
That's a head. He played it with his head there, and that's going to set up a golden opportunity for East Long Meadow. Once again, just trying to get adjusted to those rules. It's played with the head, and due to the safety there, they're going to go ahead and switch out the balls. But 10 minutes to go. Another great chance for the Spartans. Do you think they learned, Devin, from that last opportunity and might try something different?
It'll be interesting to see. It's hard to, get a touch off because the other team can attack right there. So it's got to be a bang-bang play. Obviously, they're going to have Mazza taking this one once again. But I think, what are they, social distancing right now? Are you seeing everybody stick their arms out?
So Cortina and Mazza this time instead of Morneau and Mazza.
Goaltender directing traffic there.
Cortina will all but likely give this ball off to Mazza. But both guys have a strong shot. So Cortina nudges it. Mazza's drive and ends up getting blocked. Yeah. Same thing as we've seen in all these opportunities, but danger hasn't passed. Cortina drives one. It's knocked down. In the far corner, Cortina goes down, and it was last touched by the Pacers.
This is not sitting well with me. You just think back to that picture of him absolutely blowing up. One of the who was it?
I think it was Robert Stevens.
Yeah, just rocking them in the Stanley Cup. Yeah, what a great Bruin.
Yeah. I'm sorry, was it Thomas maybe? Is that the guy I was thinking of, Rob Thomas?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah,
wasn't a big name.
Yeah, drive on net by Ryan Brunel and an easy save by Barub.
8 or 9 years, though, in Boston. Wish him the best. Sorry to keep going back. That's all I can think about right now.
Undrafted out of Michigan State. Made that substantial contribution in that debut that he made in the playoffs against the New York Rangers.
I remember I bought a Krug shirt that next week. They already had him at Olympia Sports. I went right down there and bought one because he was just ringing shots off the pipe and in.
4 goals in 5 games. Jack Sweeney, gives it off, and here come the Pacers. Fighting through. The shot is knocked down in a big defensive play there by Evans.
Mr. Mack's been cracking me up with his reactions up there. He's definitely a nervous Nelly fan here at East Long Meadow High School.
Yeah, no lead is safe, especially after the 2-goal lead that Chicopee was able to erase. But time continues to tick away with 7:25 remaining. Back to get the ball for the Spartans. And definitely not going to be any rush is Colin Walczak. And Walczak, despite the 2 goals allowed, has looked really strong in net, really comfortable. The second goal he gave up definitely wasn't his fault, and the first one came after a spectacular save off a rebound on that, so he's certainly been given 110. Some backspin on that ball, and another Chicopee player down and slow to get up, and that's Kaiser. Jacob Kaiser is down. And they're going to go ahead and stop the clock here with 6:41 remaining, and Kaiser is able to get up, favoring that left leg. And he's going to go ahead and jog off and in to replace him. Looked like that might have been Matthias Valentin. Could be wrong, though. Didn't get a good look there at that number. Anyway, back to the action. Played back in, drilled downfield by Waltzak. Sonny Mazic, the nifty move to try to get it through.
There you go.
Nudged forward by Stevens, but
I guess that's why the goalie plays so far out.
A lot of confidence from Aiden Berube coming out and handling the ball like that. But on the far side, Luke Mazza settles it, trying to get that right-footed cross. Gets it through, and Sonny can't get much on it. Second attempt doesn't get through. The ball comes all the way back, and it will be Pacer possession.
5:50 to go. Jalen Cortina, the lone difference maker, 3-2 Spartan lead.
Spartans finally showing that energy that we saw early in this fourth quarter, and currently the difference. And we got another substitution coming in as they're sending off a player. I think that was Nathan Roberts, a huge player for this Pacers team. I'm not sure what it was for. I think they gave him a yellow card. But now all of a sudden we got another guy coming off here. It's Anisari. Just trying to listen on that conversation exactly what happened. But now we got two guys that were sent off and two guys coming on. And they're going to go ahead and stop.
The clock's still running here, Colin.
Yeah. So that was a whole minute delay there. And finally, Berube sends it down the field.
I don't know if I agree with that move by the Chicopee goaltender. Just pretty much turned the ball over there.
Yep. And that will allow Waltzak to send it down. And I think they're going to go ahead and call a bump there.
I'm not exactly sure what the goaltender's doing right now.
And we got a stoppage here. Yeah, they're saying stop the clock at 2. So I think they're going to go ahead and keep time on the field with 2 minutes left, and so yeah. Once again, the ball ends up in possession of Waltzak, and yeah, so
underappreciated.
Once the clock gets down to 2 minutes, I think they're going to keep time for the remainder, maybe add a little bit of time with all the stoppages we've had in this fourth quarter. So 3:45 remaining. The Spartans clinging to a 3-2 lead and looking for their first victory of 2020. Chicopee getting a late start here, a week later than these other teams in their first game, trying to avoid falling to 0-1 on the year.
And the Spartans are just trying to chew the clock out.
Yep. Trying to control possession. But here comes a corner from Chicopee. Ball's put in. Brunel is able to force it off of a Pacer, and that'll give the Spartans possession right back. Under 3 to play. Jack Sweeney. Pass ramps up off of Cortina.
Ooh.
Looking for the give and go. It's knocked down.
Oh,
Pass
my goodness.
takes a funny bounce. The spin, though, and a stumble looking for the ball. Wow, that was almost a bad situation for Michael Thomas as he stepped on the ball, and sometimes you can roll an ankle doing that, but seems like he popped up and didn't even miss a beat. Sent back in by Henry Ryzek.
Stevens catches an elbow there.
Knocked down. Oh, O'Neal goes down hard. Or, I'm sorry, not O'Neal. That's Evans, rather. And time is called with 2:06 remaining. And we got another injury. It's a pacer down. So a really tough fourth quarter for Chicopee. We saw a couple of players coming off from, what I thought might have been a discipline thing. And now I think this is a third pacer that's been banged up. And there have been some big players, too, including the one that most recently went down before this was Kaiser.
Yeah.
Training staff and coaching staff heading out there. Again, 2:06 remaining, 3-2 the lead for East Long Meadow. And welcome back. Good to see Borges walk off the field under his own power after being down. I think he might have gotten a bloody nose there on a shot up high, but it's good to see him up and walking.
Really? The ball hit him in the face?
Wonder if it was the ball or maybe there was some contact there.
I don't even want to imagine what that would feel with this temperature.
So with 2 minutes to go, they'll go ahead and keep time running on the field. We'll have to assume that there's roughly 2 minutes remaining. Maybe an extra minute will be added on.
I'm sure we're going to have some complaints to the poor timekeeper, but he was instructed rather.
Right.
Time's going to be kept on the field. So we're not quite going to know when it's going to end ourselves.
Correct. Waiting to see whose ball it will be. But all this is taking more time off. It'll be Pacers' ball right in front of the Spartan bench. Ryzek puts it in. There's a drive looking for someone downfield, and back is the forward to make the play. That's Cortina. Pacers not giving up just yet, trying to force a tie. Colin Evans able to drive it back upfield, and that pass goes all the way.
Players should play.
You heard Mr. Maccarini let the
Fire
players
back.
know on the field that it's been kept on the field. Meanwhile, downfield, another opportunity there from the Pacers. Comes back to midfield, knocked down.
Ooh.
Michael Thomas. Sonny Mass is able to break it up. Pass back towards the near side. Good to see Langevin back out on the field.
Ooh. Yeah, Morneau's going to get
And-
called for that every time.
Yep. So they will give East Long Meadow the ball. And we probably just a few moments away from this one coming to a conclusion. And they're just going to drop it back. It's sent down the field. Knocked out of the air by Chicopee. Sonny Mazza fighting for it. And it's sent down, but knocked down right back by Cortina.
Ooh.
What a spin move by Cortina. He sends it forward. Ball still in play, but Berube will come out of his net and clear it back up the field. Pacers looking for this one last rush. The ball goes out of play. And the whistle blows. And they're going to swap out the ball. And that's finally going to be it. So East Long Meadow, with a late goal from Jalen Cortina, hangs on for their first victory of the season as they knock off the Chicopee Pacers at home by a final score of 3-2. Devin, that game had a little bit of everything, a lot of excitement, a comeback from Chicopee that ultimately falls just short, but for the Spartans, a huge win after starting off the season 0-2.
Yeah, definitely a confidence boost. Like I said, 0-3. 0-3 rather, is a huge hole to dig out of. Big win, big confidence boost for the Spartans. Let's see if they can carry that momentum into next week. Great first half play. A little sloppy in the middle there, but Jalen Cortina able to get vengeance on his error that he made missing the open net. And Barry won, ultimately the hero for the Spartans as they take a 3-2 win.
That's right. I completely forgot about that opportunity that Cortina had at the beginning of the second half to put his team up at the time 3-1. Somehow wasn't able to put it home, but ball ended up finding him once again when the game was on the line, and he was the difference maker. So from all of us here at LCAT, for our producer and camera woman, Jamie Rook, excuse me, I don't know why I just stumbled on the name there. For Devin Dobeck, I'm Colin Casey. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your long weekend, and we will see you next time. This has been another edition of East Long Meadow High School Sports presented by LCAT.